Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm a little, I'm literally just getting ready to go to work. I had some running around to do, and something happened. Of course, it always kind of happens when you're doing some running around. But the Minnesota Wild and the Ottawa Senators decided they were going to make a trade today. And it was a 1-for-1. It was goalie for goalie. The Ottawa Senators acquired Cam Talbot from the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Philip Gustafson. So the Senators acquire Talbot, who he obviously wasn't too happy that Fleury got re-signed. Which kind of makes me wonder, if those two are not, I'm guessing those two are probably not really friends outside the building. So Talbot goes to Ottawa, and the Wild get back Philip Gustafson, who, he had a pretty decent year last year, and he's 24 years old. So, and going back and forth with people on Facebook who are like, why would the Wild do this? Why? And I'm like, why wouldn't they? Like seriously? You're complaining about you're complaining about getting back a 24-year-old for a 35-year-old. And not just that. Talbot's 35 years old. He's also making almost $3.7 million per year. So that goes to Ottawa, who is ripe with cap space. And we get back 24-year-old Philip Gustafson, who's making $787,000. So Bill Guerin trades for a much younger goaltender, and he's basically making practically league minimum. He cleared almost $3 million in cap space with that move. And people around here are complaining. I'm like, why? Why? What do you have to complain about? And they're like, well, Fleury's washed up. Fleury's got, they should never have signed Fleury. So they're mad because, they trade Talbot, but they're like, we kept Fleury around. I'm like, So keeping a guy around who's got 3 rings, 3 Stanley Cup championships on his resume, you're mad because they signed him and that ticks Talbot off. What's Talbot done? Does Talbot have any jewelry? No, he doesn't. Fleury does. And the fact that Talbot's 35 years old, he will be an unrestricted free agent, I believe, after next year. Where also after next year, Gustafson will be a restricted free agent. So you got 2 different dynamics there in, when it comes to the cap. And honestly, I think it's a great deal for both sides. Because Ottawa, who just traded Matt Murray to Toronto, they get back a veteran goaltender who's pretty good, and Talbot's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that he's horrible, because he's not, but the Wild trade him for a 35-year-old with a almost $3.7 million cap hit. Trade him for a 24-year-old goaltender who's making $787,000. And he can learn behind a guaranteed Hall of Famer in Marc-Andre Fleury. What's the drawback here? The Wild, they're still going to be in cap hell. They're still in cap hell. But if Guerin can find a way to, kind of clear some of that, let's see. If I look at, because All right. Because I'm trying to think, because I know there's been rumors for a couple of years that, you know, the Wild might try and move Dumba out. Now, granted, I don't know if they will do that or not, but, and of course, internet's down. Why wouldn't it be? But it's interesting that the fact that people are, you know, it just amazed me that people were complaining about this. You know, the fact that Guerin clears up almost $3 million in cap space, and he brings in a decent young goaltender, and we have a young goaltender that we drafted a couple of years ago that I think will probably end up being pretty good. That most likely at some point will probably be the tandem. It will be probably, Gustafsson and I'm a brain fart on the other guy that they were talking about. We had potentially a young Andrei Vasilevsky type of play in him, and so but I think it's a good deal for both. The Wild, obviously, they cleared up some cap space. They bring in a much younger goaltender, and they trade away, and they trade Cam Talbot, who did not really like the fact that he was very disgruntled with the fact that the Wild re-signed Marc-Andre Fleury. So yeah, I see it honestly as a win-win. I don't see there being an issue in which team's going to win the trade, which one's not. I think it's a good trade for both. I think they both did well. I wish Cam the best of luck in Ottawa, and and of course Philippe Gustafsson, welcome to Minnesota. So, what do you guys think about the trade? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? I personally don't mind it. I think it's a good deal for both. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Who do you think got the better of the trade? I think right now it's pretty even. But we'll see as the season goes on. Who might have won. Who might have won the trade and who might not have. I mean, Ottawa's getting a guaranteed starter here. Cam will be starting in Ottawa. Gustafsson is going to be a backup to Fleury. And again, he can be under Fleury's learning tree. I definitely don't see a drawback. I don't see a drawback to that at all. So, but let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Do you think Talbot's gonna be really good in Ottawa? How do you think Gustafsson will do behind Marc-Andre Fleury? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. And if you're new and you've just seen this video and this is the first video that you've seen, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button down there. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would greatly appreciate it. And so yeah, Cam Talbot is a member of the Ottawa Senators now, and Philippe Gustafsson comes over in a 1-for-1, and the Wild get younger, and they open up some cap space. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Again, hit like and subscribe down there if you enjoy the content, and I'll talk to you guys again later.